Hey, I'm a chick with beats, multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit achickwithbeats.com for resources for artists and instrumentals in various genres available for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwithbeats.com. That's achickwithbeats.com. Let's make something happen.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in to Instrumental Intel. I'm your host, music producer, Chick with Beats, and I'm glad to say that I have in the virtual building with me today, Jonathan from SmartLabel. If you could, just give everybody a little bit of background as to who you are and what SmartLabel is and how you put the dots together.
Yeah, of course. First of all, thanks for having me. Like you said, my name is Jonathan. I'm one of the founders together with Joost Rode of the tech company in the music industry named SmartLabel. We are launching a worldwide alternative for parties like Spotify, so a new DSP. But then I always say, in a way that it should be, so that as an artist you have 100% control and transparency about your fan data, but you have also something to say about the valuation of your IP, and a way to directly connect with your listeners, because nowadays as an artist I don't know who I'm selling my music to, and I cannot determine the price I'm doing it for. And that is basically the only business in the intellectual property space this is the case. So that's why we are building this.
Absolutely, and it's so important, especially with all the different things that are happening now. Since we've been connected on LinkedIn, I've seen some of the things that you've shared your insight about as far as intellectual property. And so for those who may be listening and not fully understand, because I know a lot of times there are people who aren't creatives that think that sometimes artists are overreacting to AI, and it's not that all artists are against it. It's just kind of like, hey, this is my intellectual property. How can I be compensated for it? So if you could talk a little bit more about the importance of actually valuing.
I would say to really flatten it out, intellectual property is everything that has value you cannot touch. So the things, ideas, words, lyrics, melodies. We have laws and legislation in Europe, but also where you are in the States to protect that. And currently, if you look at how companies like Suno and Audio are dealing with with intellectual property, we are absolutely against that, and not per se from the creative aspect, because we love AI, we want to use AI, but it's about the data sets they use to train the model, and that is trained on stolen music. And that means as somebody who's in the data set, you don't know you are in the data set, and you won't be credited. You can not even start about thinking being compensated.
Right.
And there is no way to say this output, this song I created with this model is influenced by me in 5%, 10%, 80%. So there is no legal framework. And the thing that frustrates us sometimes a little bit is that the option to do it the right way is there. Like, we are not against innovation. We are not about pushing boundaries. We are not like when the calculator came that the math teachers went on the street and say nobody can do math by heart anymore. That's not the thing. But the thing is that you are entering the game from, let's say, a deceiving perspective. And we want not to repeat history again, where if we now look at the position of the creator, the one who's doing all the work, the one who's creating the outputs, is coming in last, even if he's coming in line to be credited and to be paid. So all the people who know the law, all the people who are working at the corporations, all the people who have the financial backing to invest, they can reap the fruits of your hard work, sweat, creativity, and you are last in line to be paid. And I'm advocating to not repeat this with AI. And a lot of people are not seeing the difference. It's really about making sure creditors get credited and get paid in a fair and more or less transparent way.
Right. And I mean, that's one of the things that I typically see people say, well, you can't fight against it. It's like, well, no, it's not trying to fight against it. But like you said, the capability is there. So why not just do it the right way? So, again, this just kind of helps people put in perspective, when you're talking about intellectual property, exactly what we mean by that. And so now, especially since the pandemic, I feel like I'm not sure what you've been seeing since, you're closer to the industry than I am, but there have been a lot of catalog purchases. And so to see an opportunity like that arise, I guess, for independent artists or independent labels, I think is a huge thing. So can you talk a little bit more about?
Yeah, I can. I don't think that opportunity is there for individuals or small labels. I think this is a highly professionalized, let's say, a business where only the big dogs and the big bucks have the power to purchase and or sell catalogs. And that's also one of the things we are trying to change with our music exchange. That is a feature on Tracks that, as a retail investor, you can directly support the artist and the songs you love. And as an artist, you don't have to sell your master rights to a record label to have access to capital. But you can say, hey, instead of selling it to a record label for the rest of my life, I will share 5% or 10% of my future royalties with my fans, with my listeners, for a period of, let's say, 3 years or 5 years. And that brings, let's say, that's evening the playing field. Because currently, as a retail investor, you have almost no option to invest in music rights. And as an artist, and if you want to directly sell your music rights or find access to capital, chances are, let's say, 0 to none.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think it's a great thing that you're doing. Who, if you could describe, who would be the ideal type of artist or label to benefit from something like this?
I would say that is a very broad spectrum. And that's also when we created this company in 2022. We learned from all the music tech initiatives that are on I call it the music tech graveyard. Well, how people say it, like, let's say, the way to hell is full of good intentions.
Yeah, good intentions. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also with this, because if you look at the situation, how it currently is for a small label or for an artist, you need to have direct contracts to distribute. Most of the people don't have that, so they basically use TuneCore or whatever. And nothing against parties like DistroKid, CD Baby, TuneCore. They are great aggregators, but they are maybe not really built to scale this for the artist. And even if you have, let's say, only 10 songs on Spotify, you have 50 monthly listeners, you have 50 people. Apparently, we don't know because Spotify is not transparent, but it says 50, so let's believe them, huh? Who are listening to your music, but you cannot connect with them. You cannot reward them for listening to your music. And you cannot ask them maybe to invest in you, even $10 to have the opportunity to rent some studio time or to make a cool video clip. Maybe you're going to make the video clip even with AI, but you don't have that option to grow your career. So I think that's a very important wall currently. It's a brick wall in the music industry, in the creative sector, and we are trying to build a door there. We are trying to build a way you have access to capital. You know who your fans are. You can interact, you can chat, you can ask, you can reward, you can do whatever. Also for the bigger labels or for catalog owners or rights managers, they are also not aware of the data that's available. And DSPs have no intention giving you that data on your fans. Publishers will also have no intent to give you insights on how they are matching their statements. And because everybody is sitting on his own big mountain of data they see as their gold. And other initiatives are always trying to build something around the music industry. That means one, or you are ignoring rules and legislation, so you're not complying, so you're not scalable. You cannot really build a big company because you are basically breaking the law. Or you are building something that's not very interesting for all the music that's already released. Well, I gotta tell you, we did a lot of market research. The percentage of new music people listen based on old music they love and repeatedly listen is very in the advance of the old music, let's say the evergreen economy. So you need to be compliant. You need to be compliant with that, and that's basically how we started building SmartLabel. And then we came to the conclusion: okay, if you really want to do something different, then we need to put our money where our mouth is, and we need to build a worldwide, decentral, open source infrastructure-like company as Spotify, but where we don't own it ourselves. We are transparent about the data, and the artists and the rights owners are de facto always in control. So that means you know who's listening to your music. If people want to share that information, you can value your own IP. So you can say, if you want to stream my music, this is what I want for it. Maybe you need to pay me once. Maybe you can spin it 10 times. And if you want to spin it 11 times, you need to pay something. All those metrics you can set for yourself. And I think that's the way we can change things. And not overnight. It's not done by Monday next week. Also not by Monday next year. But if we do it in the right way and we show the industry that you still can make money, because that's the thing, people think, oh, you cannot make money, it's open source, I gotta be attacked in my wallet and I want to protect that. If you show them a way how you can do it, you can even bigger the pie, because there are going to be new income streams and new ways to monetize your music and your fandom. Then I think we will be on the right trajectory with each other.
That's incredible. So like I said, I mean, what you're offering is amazing and it's definitely needed. Are there any other like special features that you would kind of want to, so like I said, most of the people who listen to this are independent artists, some run labels, but yeah, any special features to kind of like, I guess, entice them to go ahead and find out more?
Yeah, well, I think the majority of the people will do it because it benefits you, because you, and then it's like a no-brainer. But a few things I think are very cool myself is that payments are direct and instant. So the moment somebody plays your song, the money will be available in your account and can also be extracted from your account. So you don't have to wait longer than, in this case, I think 7 seconds after the play is done. So I think that's a big game changer.
Absolutely.
The other thing is also a project that comes really from my heart. It's connected to SmartLabel, of course, but we call it SmartLabel Academy because I've been in the business for many years, as you know, and always people from all levels in the industry, I would say. So that can be a producer, a starting artist, a successful artist, a label manager, somebody who has a big ass catalog and want to sell it. They all are basically clueless how music rights work.
Yeah.
Nobody knows, and there is like a terminology that's completely off. So some people call it an X and some people call it a Y, but they are basically talking about the same thing, and sometimes you check it out and they are both wrong. So we said we need to create one cool, free, open place where you have access to all the information regarding the music industry. And we're gonna launch that in a few months. We are now in the building phase. So if people want to connect with me and feel on this, just shoot me an email. Then I will get you in the loop. But basically, it's an academy where you can find fair, transparent information about how things in the music industry work. So how do I register my rights? How do I protect my brand? But also, where can I, you can download a template contract with default settings where we say, hey, you can watch to this or watch to that, or a checklist, what you need to release, or how it works with a certain aggregator. Like, hey, somebody says I get 100%, and you think I get everything, but the question is 100% of what? All those standard pitfalls I needed to learn in the past decade by also going on my flat on my face sometimes. I want to bring that to one place. So at least as a creative industry professional or aspired professional, you have a place where you can just double check your things, watch little videos, intro things, just have a safe haven of correct information that's not trying to sell you anything.
Yeah.
So no commercial intent, no nothing of that, just a fair and safe, trustworthy place with information you need or information you would love to have before you put your signature under something you did not really understand. And a lot of people are afraid to ask for information because then they think they look stupid, and they're gonna Google it or gonna use ChatGPT, and they're gonna ask the wrong questions, so they will have the wrong answer.
Yeah.
So that's maybe that's really a project I love to do, and I'm very glad that now after a few years it's going to become a reality, because I think it's just cool. I think it needs to be there.
It definitely does, and that's very incredible. I've had a lot of music conversations, interviews. I've read a lot of press releases, and never have I once heard of anyone say, hey, I want to give you a transparent way to manage what you're doing, and I'm not looking for anything in return. So yeah, that's definitely awesome. So yeah, I'm noticing that the time is kind of winding up a little bit, and I want to make sure that if there's anything else that you want to share to make sure that people know.
I would say Tracks Manager will be live as from September, or global launch of the worldwide alternative for Spotify. We call it Tracks, a decentral open source client-side running music streaming app will be available in January. And currently we are in connect with a lot of people. We have our onboarding team ready, so you can go to the website smartlabel.media, book a meeting, just shoot us an email. We will get you in the loop, so you know what's up, and get your music, get your rights sorted out, and then train is leaving. Time to jump on.
Absolutely. Yeah. So once again, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to chat with me and the listeners. And I definitely hope that they check out SmartLabel, because what you're doing is incredible, and all the projects that you're working on. And I'd like to think that maybe this could be the first of a series at some point. So as you guys roll out new stuff, then maybe I can have you back on in the future.
Yeah, I will put you high on our mailing list.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you what you're doing. I think it's great. Of course, I followed you a bit, so that's also, we don't take all podcast or interview requests, but what you're doing is great, and we really appreciate and support you. So that's also why I will be here anytime you will email or call me, because I'm a big fan of you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, and that's a wrap for this episode of Instrumental Intel. I've been your host, music producer at Chick with Beats, and I want to thank you for tuning in. I want to thank my special guest, Jonathan from SmartLabel, coming in to share his information, insight, and wisdom. And I also want to thank my home station, Grander Radio, out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Make sure you come back next week. I got more goodness lined up for you. So till next time, you know where to find me. Tune in, tell a friend, and I'll see you then. Peace.